as someone who was trying to heal myself for years, I always wanted to know, what is the solution? How can I understand this in a way that makes it make sense for me? And why is nothing working? If you've been in this position too, this video is for you today. I want to explain exactly how your cells listen to you more than they listen to the genetic expression inside of them. You are not someone who is torn and directed and confined to your genetic expression. If you're someone who's looking to heal, you can have an actual meaningful effect on your cells. And today I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that in a very simple way. You have to think about this work a bit like you are someone who has learning how to go to the gym. You've been going to the gym, you've been working out by yourself, but you haven't thought about the calories. You haven't thought about the progressive overload. You haven't thought about all the other attributes that you need to do to get yourself to the healing. So today I want to explain it very simply, the steps that you can take to change your genetic expression or change your cellular expression. And I'm going to use this interesting app today where I can show you how to basically affect your cells. So I have this very bad drawing that I did here of one of your cells. Now this is work by Dr. Bruce Lipton, who wrote The Biology of Belief. And this is one of the great game changers that actually helped me to stop hair loss and helped me to heal my stomach. So why does it change us and how does it help? Well, just at the side of me here, I'm going to do a split screen of this video. I've drawn a very bad picture of a cell. So what Dr. Bruce Lipton was trying to explain on his cellular epigenetic journey was that the cells are not tied up to any form of genetic expression. As Dr. Joe Dispenza would say, your cells can your genes can upregulate or they can downregulate. So in this video here, when you see this cell, we have the cellular wall. Now this is important. Now I'm going a little bit more technical today than in my usual videos, but you'll see why coming to peace, not reacting to life, is going to actually change this expression. Well, what he theorized and what he actually explained was there is a nucleus here and it has all of our genes inside in the red. What do you think of this drawing, by the way? Do you think I should quit being a coach and become an artist? Tell me down in the comments below. But anyway, we have these genes that are in this part of the cell here. Now that's very beautiful. That's this red bit here that I'm pointing at, okay? Now what I can do, I can start to grab that. So that's our genes, okay? So I'm moving this around. Our genes are there. Now also then, we have this nucleus, okay, which holds all that information in, and around it we have the cell membrane, which is the sort of encapsulation of the cell. Now stick with me guys, because this is going to make a lot of sense. What he started to do, he started to take the nucleus out of the cells, but the cells would start to actually still interact as if they had a nucleus in. But he said, if that's the case, if the genes and all the information are in the nucleus, surely when I take that out, the cell should die and not perform. So what he started to realize is that the cells are not tied by the information that's inside of the genetic code. They actually get affected by information outside of the cell. So I've done these little green arrows here, and these green arrows are positive vibes and negative vibes. Now, let's put it this way, I'm making it simple. But if you are constantly in a reactionary state to your environment, the information that the cells start to receive is we're in danger. We're in danger here. There's something wrong. Now, the problem is when we were obviously evolving into humans, or however you see us coming into this expression of humans, when we weren't living in beautiful, safe houses where we had long lives, we needed to feel the environment around us to protect ourselves. But now, because of our consciousness, because of our awareness to life, we get a little bit too caught up in the idea that there's a problem. So it could be your tax bill, it could be your marriage, it could be that that person said that thing to me 20 years ago. So we stay in that emotional reaction. Because of staying in that emotional reaction, we feed the cells information here, We feed the cells information of the environment. That's when they decide how to express. Now, this is so beautiful because having helped people heal from things like Parkinson's, having helped people heal from autoimmune diseases, and you name it, cancers and otherwise, this was a big component of how I teach them to find inner peace in the chaos of their life so they can start to use the deeper subconscious mind to teach the cells what they need to be taught. You can speak to your cells directly if you get into the right state of being. Now, what that means then is that state of being now is affecting the expression. So as we do that, we can start to see here that the cell now starts to choose to express a gene or not express a gene. So if you had in the past genetic expression of male pattern baldness in the family, my dad has all of his hair, but my uncles don't and my grandfather didn't. And I started to express the gene of hair loss, okay? That was one of the things that I helped. So I just wanted to prevent that expression from happening. So there was a lot of information coming in here of fear. I would constantly obsess around my hair. I would check it every day. I would look at it after the shower. And the same when I had chronic pain in the throat and the stomach. I would start to create a smaller and smaller environment of safety for me to live in. So I would control the food. I would control what I drank, when I drank. So I lived in constant danger. So my cells had to start expressing in that way. So what I'm trying to say to you here from this very rudimentary drawing here is that the cells here are not privy to what's going on outside. The only thing that can tell what's happening in the environment is your awareness, is your consciousness. Now, this is the beautiful part. You have a choice. So as we start to, let's say we start to keep adding in here, more negative information, more negative information, more negative information. Every time the cell starts to lose its lifespan and a new one's created, the next cell gets fed that new idea. So it stays in that same expression as the previous one. But if you slowly, over time, can start to let go, can start to find a peace inside of yourself, you can start to have more and more of these green arrows going in, that you're safe, that it's fine, and presence to the moment really lets the cells start to work at their most perfect expression. Now let's leave that picture there for a bit now, okay? So I'm going to leave that one there. What we're going to do from this point on now is we need to ask ourselves, how do I create that environment where I feel safe on a consistent manner? Well, the way that you do that, my friends, is very simple. It goes like this. You must start to notice what your body is trying to tell you. You see, long before your body tells you through expression of illness, it's going to tell you through your emotions. Your emotions are the body's lie detector that are showing you what is actually going on inside of you. Now, this also transfers to other manifestations too, but today, let's focus on the body. Let's imagine for years since childhood, I've created a feeling of not feeling safe in this world, having trying to please everyone and that I'm not good enough. Eventually, the cells are going to believe that the problem lies within me. That's when we start to go to autoimmune diseases, often related to guilt. That's when parts of our body don't seem to express anymore. I just had a client who I've been working with for a while, and we're getting great improvements, has tinnitus. It's an expression that she's taught herself over time that she doesn't want to hear the troubles of life. You see, when you understand yourself on a personal level, rather than just these overviews of like, here's a course, this is what you do. Sometimes you need a more personal touch. So understanding that, yes, I've been trying to shut out the world because I don't want to hear any trouble anymore. I want to feel safety, but I don't feel safe. So my body's going to create it somehow. Again, starting work with a different client of mine who has unfortunately shut himself away, mold toxic poisoning and all of these things. He now lives in a room that he can't really leave. He has become so frightened of the world that the body has created an illness inside of him that prevents him from going into the world. How do you do it though? How can you change it? Well, you need to start to train your nervous system back to peace. So you need to let the environment be what it is. You need to let the world happen. Yes, this is a world that does have some chaos in it, my friends. There is chaos within this world, okay? But we get a choice to choose whether to react to it or not. Now, you don't have to stop your reactions, but how long are you going to live in that reactionary response is how your genes and your cells are going to respond. So I always say to you, if you start to notice yourself feeling out of balance, go within. Let the body lie detector tell you what it's feeling. So you're feeling anxious even though there's nothing wrong. That's your system saying to you, we don't feel safe. Now, your awareness inside of you is like a light. Okay, I call it the God presence or the God consciousness, you know. It's that little divine spark in you, that awareness. It's a light. Now, when you shine it onto the darkness, which is the fear, it cannot exist in there anymore, especially if you put the body into an environment that's relaxed. When the environment in the body starts to relax, that energy has to move. Now, it isn't about now blocking it, like, you know, adding more to yourself. It's letting go of that fear-based response that puts you out of survival and back into relaxation. So I always say to people, aim for peace rather than intense elevated emotions. And elevated emotions are going to come up naturally once your system opens up. Your heart's going to open naturally once your system opens up. It isn't an unnatural thing. You're meant to have an open heart. You're never meant to get sick. The body system knows how to keep you safe. It's been done that way through God and millions of years of evolution, if you believe in that, okay? So go to that space. Don't fear it. See what you are letting into your environment. See what you're holding on to and make it the most important part of your life to let go of that. Now, Joe Dispenza said something the other day in one of his teachings that was very good. He says, you go to someone, what's wrong? What are you feeling? They say, I'm so glad you asked. 20 years ago, my marriage fell apart and I've never forgiven that person. So why have I got arthritis? Why have I got these things? Because there's long-held anger energy in the body, and the body system and the cells don't know how to act accordingly. So you do this to teach yourselves balance, safety, and harmony. So you observe yourself, you relax physically. I've called it the 3 R's, relax, release, re-intend. And it has healed so many people just through simple lifestyle changes. You do not need to meditate 4 hours a day to get this result, okay, my friends? You need to come to a gentle knowing that you are safe, that your body is brilliant, and you can start to trust it again. Once you find peace, you find clarity. And once you find clarity, you can focus on an idea long enough for it to express. If you like this video and you'd like me to go into it deeper, do let me know down in the comments and I will go deeper into how you can create that safety in your body environment.